Hey everyone, it's Emily. Welcome back to my channel, or welcome to those who are new here to another review of a puzzle accessory. Today we have the tilting and rotating puzzle board by All4Jig. This is a brand that I've been working with in the past, and I'm working with them on this video as well, but that does not affect my opinion whatsoever. I love working with the brand because they're always trying to improve their product, and this is how this whole board became to be. I will be giving you a little bit of story time of how this came into fruition, which I'm just really excited about, and I will link it down below if you're interested. I know purchasing a puzzle accessory this large and this pricey is an investment, and it's going to figure out which one will be best for you. So I'm going to give you like the features and just like the information about the board. I have been using it for over a month, and I can give you my honest feedback of what I like about it and what things I like that they have improved upon. And we're just going to get into this. I hope you're doing well, and we'll just get started. A little bit of puzzle story time before we get into the features is a couple years ago I purchased the original puzzle table that I have, and I purchased it on my own. I reviewed it on my own, and that's how our whole relationship started, is that they saw the video, they liked the video, and then we've been working with each other. So I had gave them suggestions when I did that original video of things that I would love to see, and they reached out to me a while back. I want to say it was over a year ago, and they said, hey, we want to come up with a puzzle board, but we have the survey. Can you just like answer some questions for us? And that way we can get some information of like what to do for our next product. And I was like, yes, absolutely. And if you want to have more feedback, I also have a Facebook group that I host, and you can ask them to do the survey too. And a lot of you did do the survey. So they based off this puzzle board off of the feedback that we gave them, and I love that they are just like honest and open to improving their product. And even since they created this one, they have a new updated one based off of feedback that we've been giving. And I like the new features, but I just don't have that new updated one in my house. But I'll go over them as we go through all the features because I do think they are an improvement. We're just getting into this with all the ins and outs about this puzzle table. Let's go into the features about this puzzle board, and I'll put them on the screen so you can see what I'm talking about. First up, we have that it is rotating, so there is a Lazy Susan on the bottom. The one I have is metal, but the new updated version is more of a Lazy Susan style, and I do think that's an improvement because for mine, I'm nervous about the metal scratching on my table, and so I do like that they changed it, but it also seems like it's going to be a lot more stable because it's a little bit bigger. The next feature is that it is a tilting puzzle board, so underneath they also have the option where you can lift up the legs and it will be a tilting board, which I really appreciate. That is a really comfortable way for me to puzzle. I do also have that feature in the other puzzle boards I have from them, and that's one of my favorite things because it can save your back. You don't have to reach so far, and I really like that, especially if I'm like watching TV, whatever. I'm not like bending over my puzzle board. I can tilt it so much easier on my back and my neck. I also like that they have the 4 drawers that we've seen in all their other puzzle boards and tables, and they are the same exact depth. I like that those are included. Those are like my favorite feature of all of them because I like to have all the pieces in like the little boards, and it's easy to like pop back in when I'm puzzling, or sometimes I'll just like have them stacked on the side if I know I'm going to be rotating it quite a bit. I also like that the puzzle board includes a handle, so that way I can move it throughout the room. What I do appreciate is that this one is a bit more lightweight than the other one that I have. This one is actually a lot easier for me to move about, and if it is a little bit heavier, I'll just remove the drawers and it makes it easier. But I do like that because, I mean, I don't want to lift like a 50-pound thing onto my puzzle table. I will put the weight on the screen, and this is something that you have concerns about. I do appreciate that it is easier for me to move. I also, this is my favorite feature, is that they changed the puzzle top, which I love. The other two All4Jig puzzle tables I have a green felt backing, and there's a couple things that I don't love about them. Is one, that they are a little bit more high maintenance, where I'm constantly having to use either a lint roller or sometimes a depiller to like make sure it's in pristine condition. I don't have to do it every single time I puzzle, but it can be a little frustrating, especially if you have like a really dusty puzzle. It can be hard to remove all the dust from your table. I also know that the green isn't everyone's cup of tea because it might be a permanent fixture in your house and you're gonna have like this big green puzzle table in your space. I also know that some people aren't a huge fan of the felt just because it can be a little bit tricky to move your pieces about, because it kind of like catches as you're moving them. So I understand why people aren't a huge fan of the felt backing. I've also done a review on a puzzle board that has a microfiber. That one also requires quite a bit of maintenance because you have to use like a wet rag and you like wipe it down, and then over time it kind of like looks a little funny. I didn't love the microfiber as much as I thought I would, but this material so far I'm really loving. So I do like that they made the top of the board a nice light gray. It's one, aesthetically pleasing. If you're gonna have this out in your house, it's a lot nicer to look at than like the bright green felt. Also the texture of it, it's like this linen-y texture, and I really like it. It seems really sturdy on top of the board. It's really easy to move the pieces around, but somehow it also keeps the pieces up when it's tilted. I don't know that magic, but I do love the fabric that they used on top of the board. And so far, I haven't really had too much to do as far as maintenance goes. If I have a dusty puzzle, I really can just like brush it off and it's like completely fine. And I haven't had to like do anything to it. It's definitely the easiest option out of all the puzzle boards and tables that have reviewed so far. So I like the color, I like the functionality, I like the ease of use. Like this part is like my favorite part of the puzzle board by far. And then finally we do have the cover that you can use that you'll see in all of the All4Jig puzzle tables and boards, where you can use it to protect your puzzle when you're not there or just protect your board in general. I like using it because I have cats, but I do know some of you also use it as like an option to puzzle on top of the cover and then move it, and then if you have something else underneath, you can kind of do like two puzzles at once, which is kind of genius. I did use that a couple of times, so that was a really great idea and something I didn't even think of until you guys mentioned it in my latest video. So those are all the features on the puzzle board. Mine is for a 1,500 piece puzzle. I haven't done it for that big of a puzzle, but I do like having a larger board so that way I have space on the side to have pieces. So I really like having that option because then I can have like maybe sorted pieces over here and still have plenty of space to puzzle, which I really like. Those are all the features of this board. I just wanted to give you my honest thoughts and opinions on my experience so far. So first up, I like how big it is. I know when you're shopping for a puzzle board, you may see one that's for like a 1,500 piece, which is what this one is, and you may think, well, I don't do a 1,500 piece puzzle, I'm going to get a puzzle board for 1,000 piece instead. I like personally having a larger puzzle board because that way if I'm doing a 1,000 piece puzzle, I still have room for pieces on the side and having things like out of place, because usually you need more room than what your puzzle dimensions are. So I do like having the extra space because I can be doing a puzzle and then have like pieces along the sides, and it's just a great way for me to like sort out pieces. So I like having a slightly bigger puzzle board than the puzzle dimensions that I'm doing. I love the cover, as I mentioned, definitely a great feature for me. So I do love having the tilting feature. I haven't used the rotating feature all that often because if it's tilted, I can reach the pieces fine. I don't necessarily need to change positions. I can see that being helpful though if you do have maybe another person puzzling on the other side. You can just like rotate the puzzle board versus like moving your whole body. I haven't had issues with pieces sliding at all or having issues with pieces dragging as I'm doing the puzzle. I just like the fabric is like spot on. Of course, I love the boards. I like the weight. I feel like my least favorite feature is actually the Lazy Susan part, which is the feature that they changed for the updated version. So I do think that's a great improvement. So those are my thoughts so far on this puzzle board. I hope you found this video helpful if you have been researching for one on whether or not this is working for you. I like it so far. I will continue reviewing it and you'll see it in future videos as I continue to play with it, and I'll give you more updated experiences as I continue using it. So far, I am liking it. I like a lot of the features. I do kind of wish I had the updated version just so I could show you the new Lazy Susan, because I do think that is an improvement that I would be interested in trying. But that's it for me. I hope you found this video helpful, and I'll link it down below if you are interested, as well as the other puzzle tables that I have tried from them, if one of those options suit you better. But that's it for me. Thank you so much for tuning into this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye guys.